Well, I was interested one day in trying to figure out what happened to and where is the famous Rex Bogue double neck guitar that was built for John Mclaughlin. And the more I got into the story, the more interesting it became. Bogue took exactly a year to build the instrument, completing it in July 1973. From that point, the double rainbow, as it came to be known, became Mclaughlin's signature instrument, closely associated with the early days of the Mahavishnu Orchestra. It seems that Rex went to Whiskey A Go-Go at a Mclaughlin show and brought a guitar with him, and Mclaughlin was so impressed with that guitar, he commissioned the double neck guitar. Mclaughlin was playing a double neck guitar that he requested be made according to certain specifics, specifications, wood type and all that, and it was not really done as Mclaughlin wanted it. They did get fretboard inlay as he wanted it and all that, but he wasn't really satisfied. But when he got the guitar from Rex Bogue, he was very satisfied. And there's a picture of it there. And there. And there. And there. And there's a picture of it there. So let's go on with the story. According to Bogue, the 24 3/4 inch scale double rainbow had a body made out of fiddleback maple, laminated necks made from maple and Brazilian rosewood, and gaboon ebony fingerboards with 22 frets. An ornate tree of life inlay traversed each fingerboard to symbolize a musician's progress in achieving his ideals. For its electronics, the double rainbow had individual volume controls for each of the 4 pickups, and you can see how many knobs we had going on there. There were no individual tone controls for each pickup. Instead, a master tone controlled both necks. In addition, the humbucking pickups were rewound with coil divider taps so that the intercoil phasing and adjustable quad coil phasing were obtainable with the flick of a switch. Finally, a preamp was also installed in the guitar, and it had a single master volume that controlled the overall output from the guitar. John Mclaughlin's distinctive double rainbow double neck guitar, made by luthier Rex Bogue, sadly was irreparably damaged in a backstage accident around 1975. Mclaughlin states in an interview, "I can tell you what happened to that guitar, unfortunately," he answered. "We were in the band room after a show, and the guitar was laid flat on a table. There must have been some kind of tremor, not an earthquake exactly, but a tremor, because the guitar fell off the table and fell flat on its face on the floor. The bridges were pushed into the body, which had a big split. It was beyond repair. It was insured, but it was a unique piece, irreplaceable." He goes on to say, "Now, I was on tour with Jeff Beck at the time. Must have been around 1975. He was playing Gibson Les Pauls, and he lent me a Les Paul to finish the tour. So when we finished the tour, I went out and bought him a 1968 white Fender Stratocaster. It wasn't that expensive at the time, but as everyone knows, he's been playing the white Strats ever since. Isn't that sweet? Mclaughlin said. During the second lineup of the Mahavishnu Orchestra, Mclaughlin played the double-neck electric guitar built by Rex Bogue. But when that guitar broke in his tour for Visions of the Emerald Beyond, Mclaughlin began to have a musical and spiritual crisis. He became disillusioned with the teachings of Sarai Chinmoy and eventually disavowed Chinmoy's teachings. Well, let's go on here and look at another picture. There it is again, and again, and again. And what is this? Well, history states the irreplaceable and unrepairable Rex Bogue was indeed repaired. Mclaughlin thought the guitar was irreparably damaged and gave it to the insurers. The insurers saw it was potentially repairable and brought it to a luthier to get it fixed. And it was sold at auction to a European collector. It's believed Mclaughlin used that money to actually buy the Shakti acoustic he had made, so maybe that accident was fortuitous to him. And here's more pictures of the guitar in repair. Okay, let's go on. It seemed that the repaired guitar was auctioned off at Christie's in 1994 for $7,748.60. The listing said, John Mclaughlin / Mahavishnu, a Rex Bogue custom-built double-neck guitar circa 1974 with a natural finish, double cutaway, maple body with carved decorations, 22 fret, 12 and 6 string necks with bound fingerboards and floral inlays and the words Guru and Aloe on the top frets. 4 pickups, 6 controls, 3 selectors, adjustable bridges, and engraved tailpieces. The blue flight case with Mahavishnu logos on each side. This guitar was used by John Mclaughlin with the Mahavishnu Orchestra in the mid-70s. And you can look up https://www.christies, that's CHRISTIES.en/lot-3734797. Now that's not the end of the story. Ibanez really liked that guitar and came up with their own version of the Rex Bogue guitar. And here's some pictures of some players that used it. There's another version of it. So this here is Ibanez's Artwood 2670 double neck guitar. Looks pretty nice. Not the Rex Bogue. Doesn't have that fancy carving here. But there you have it. And it was a popular guitar. Now, when I met Stan Whitaker of Happy the Man, he had a double neck guitar. And I believe it was indeed one of these Ibanez Artwood 2670s. And it was during a sound check. There was nobody around. And I asked Stan, man, can I try this guitar out? Heavy thing. I put it on, strap around my neck, and started noodling around. And it was just quite the moment. I thought, oh, geez, this is the guitar that Crafty Hands were. And the first release of Happy the Man was played on. But that's another story. But let's go on. Now, if you look here, here is another copy. This is not an Ibanez. And if you look at the headstock, it doesn't say Ibanez, and it surely doesn't say Rex Bogue. But some Asian fellow worked up a 3D model in a computer of the Rex Bogue guitar. And then he used that data, I guess, to get on a CNC machine and carved out this replica of the Rex Bogue. And as far as I know, only one of these exists somewhere in Asia. Maybe the guy had more made. I really have no clue. And as far as the playability, the quality, the sound, I have no clue about that. But this was much of what I could figure out about the Rex Bogue guitar. And as we know, in more recent concerts, when Mclaughlin went on the road with Jimmy Herring, Paul Reed Smith made this double neck for John Mclaughlin. Here's the 12-string neck and the 6-string neck here. And I believe after the tour for charity, John donated this guitar. So that, my friends, is all I know about the Rex Bogue guitar. If I've left something out, if I've made an error, I welcome all of you out there to fill me in and make comments. Thanks for watching.